Kevin McCarthy is finally impeaching Joe Brandon. We've been waiting for this moment since Donald Trump got impeached, that Republicans threatened the Democratic Party. They were like, oh, if you can impeach our guy, well, guess what? This is going to be hot potato impeachment time. We'll impeach your guy just as hard. And now they're finally doing it. Thank God. Okay, thank God.
Through our investigations, we have found that President Biden did lie to the American people about his own knowledge of his family's foreign business dealings.
Wait, what? Are they going to take him down on a technicality? I thought that they had something better going on. I love that they were like, Brandon actually 100% worked with Brandon Jr., Hunter Brandon, and was like getting kickbacks. And then when they were like, okay, maybe he didn't do that, there's not enough money. There is no money trail for this. Now they're just saying like, oh, well, he said he didn't know anything about his son's involvement with Burisma. And it's like, yeah, his son worked for a Ukrainian company, and that's what they're trying to hit him on. It's just fucking weak nuts, dude.
Eyewitnesses have testified that the president joined on multiple phone calls.
That's what they're impeaching him on? Dude, that's so stupid. Aw. I thought there was some better shit, dude. God damn it. This is a little bit of a bummer, I'm not gonna lie. I thought that there was something a little bit better out here that could like genuinely create content, you know, some mystery, some intrigue, you know, and none of that is happening, and I don't like it. I don't like that at all. Hunter Biden called his dad to like prove to the Burisma people that he actually has clout like that with the American government when Joe Brandon was the vice president and had no clue what was going on. And Hunter's like, everybody shut up, I'm calling my dad. I'll prove to you. Shh, don't say anything. Here, it's on speakerphone. Like, that's what they're hitting him with. To make matters worse, this was also, I think, happening while Beau Biden, the non-fail son who died, had cancer, which I feel like if you're the vice president or any other human being on the planet, you're probably picking up your phone calls from your son because one of them is dying.
And had multiple interactions, dinners, resulted in cars and millions of dollars into his son's and his son's business partners. We know that bank records show that nearly $20 million in payments were directed to the Biden family members and associates.
Here's the counter to this, okay? If I'm a Democratic Party operative, here's what I'm saying. It seems like the modern day Republican Party, which is historically accurate as well, like the Republican Party has never cared about the American workers or even American businesses. Let's be real. But modern day Republican Party seemingly cares more about businesses overseas than they do about businesses in the United States of America. And the fact that they're using government resources in this callous, careless way is expected and yet still frustrating. Are we prosecuting the president, or are we prosecuting on behalf of Hunter Biden possibly offering a bad deal to foreign nationals and companies run by foreign nationals? Is the Republican Party in the pocket of Burisma and they are upset that Hunter Biden never actually had the genuine clout and influence over the American government or his father that he claimed he had when he was getting a job? Are you the Better Business Bureau for Ukraine? Why do you care? Yeah. He fucking conned them. He conned the Ukrainian company Burisma into thinking that he had a lot more access than he actually did. He conned some other Chinese emissaries as well into believing that he had a lot more access than he did. It's like, what are we doing? Are we expecting a return on the investment for Burisma? Is that what it is? It's like, well, Burisma invested millions of dollars into this guy and he never actually ended up giving them anything. So what's the situation here? What Hunter Biden did is patriotic. Fucking over foreign oligarchs is a tried and true American tradition. Scamming the rest of the planet is what we do. We're Americans, goddammit. What's next? Are you going to prosecute Hunter Biden for owning a weapon, exercising his Second Amendment rights? What's next? Are you going to prosecute Hunter Biden for tax evasion? All tax is theft, I say. Taxation without representation should be illegal. And this goddamn government does not represent me, Hank Pecker, because they're teaching our children homosexual Marxism in schools. I ain't paying no goddamn taxes. And now these gosh darn Republicans have dropped their principles on a dime, talking about prosecuting an American citizen for exercising his Second Amendment rights, to protect the first, by the way, scamming foreign nationals out of their hard-earned dollars, and doing tax evasion. These are three of the things that I love doing as a gosh darn patriot.
Shell companies The Treasury Department alone has more than 150 transactions involving the Biden family and other business associates.
This is pretty funny because no, it's not the Biden family. It's Hunter Biden. But Hunter Biden technically is a part of the Biden family. So they're doing this nifty little trick here to make it seem like it's the entire family that is like doing criminal misconduct, which unfortunately, due to no regulation in the United States of America for this kind of thing, nepotism and trading in your last name in this regard is like totally legal, unfortunately. They don't have any evidence. So they're just kind of doing the same thing that Tucker Carlson did the other day. Remember, Tucker Carlson had Larry Sinclair on in that iconic interview that we watched when I was in Mexico. He said Larry Sinclair was endlessly persecuted for telling the truth, even though he took a lie detector test. And then he just kind of left it there because while lie detector tests are inadmissible in court and they're dog shit, he failed the lie detector test. But Tucker Carlson did not mention that he failed the lie detector test, simply that he took a lie detector test. He did that because he knows no one is going to fucking question it. No one's going to be like, wait a minute, he took a lie detector test? Let me take a look at what's going on there. So that's basically what the Republicans are doing after they conducted these like investigations. They concluded in those investigations, which they did in behind closed doors for the record, just so they could technically massage the truth a little bit, that like there is no paper trail that leads back from Hunter Biden to Joe Biden. But now, because there isn't conclusive evidence for this whatsoever, they're trying to impeach the president, and their inquiry revolves around just saying the Biden family got a lot of money.
Even a trusted FBI informant has alleged a bribe to the Biden family. Biden used his official office to coordinate.
Every time they say the Biden family, they're talking about Hunter Biden. None of this has anything to do with Joe Brandon, as far as I know, as far as I've heard from them, because like this is one of these things where I don't care to know about what the fuck's going on, because like either way I win, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, Hunter Biden or Joe Biden is impeached. Great. That's awesome. Who gives a shit, right? I'm in it for the fun of it. But like having said that, I had to learn about this against my will. And everything that I learned is allowing me to understand exactly what Kevin McCarthy's saying here, which is that every single time he says the Biden family, that is a neat little rhetoric trick to avoid saying Hunter Biden, because this is not impeaching Hunter Biden. This is supposed to be an impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden, the big guy, Mr. Brandon himself. Let's go, Brandon. But they don't want to, they can't say Hunter Biden, so they're just saying the Biden family.
That's why today I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. This logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public. That's exactly what we want to know, the answers. I believe the president would want to answer these questions and allegations as well.
Joe Brandon, sons of fuck up. If that was illegal, my parents would have a life sentence. Yeah, exactly. Also, ironic because like if having a fail son is illegal, literally everyone in Congress is going to jail, because the richer you are, the higher the likelihood that you're going to have a fail son. And all of these fucking corrupt dipshits have fail sons and fail daughters. Like literally, including Hillary Rodham Clinton, as a matter of fact.
I do not make this decision lightly. And regardless of your party or who you voted for, these facts should concern all Americans. The American people deserve to know that the public offices are not for sale.
Oh, yes, the hallmark of a democratically popular decision, avoiding a House floor vote to begin the investigation because you can't pass it among your own House majority. I see nothing wrong with this. The House is not expected to vote on an impeachment inquiry, sources tell me. They will open the inquiry without a vote. This would have been a tough vote for House Republicans. McCarthy will announce this shortly at his news conference. Not to be too much like a Trump guy. You know how like Trumpers always say, like, this new indictment is going to, breathe fire into Donald Trump's campaign. But like this does literally make Biden look vibrant. Like right now, what is Joe Brandon's biggest weakness? Ironically, not one that is even in consideration for Donald Trump, despite the fact that they have, 2 years between them? It's his age, that he's old, that he's a decrepit carcass. Anything that moves the conversation away from Joe Brandon being a decrepit carcass is unironically going to help him. So if the conversation revolves around the media being like, these guys are just attacking Joe Brandon falsely, they're criticizing him for having a fail son is not illegal, all this shit completely moves away the conversation from the one fucking major weakness that he has, a weakness that is so apparent that you're seeing him suffering internally in his own party. Like, there was no appetite for Brandon to run again. Listen to what these guys are saying.
This point has said that he believed that a vote was necessary on the House floor to launch an impeachment inquiry. I did not hear him say there he's going to call for a vote to begin an impeachment inquiry in the House of Representatives. He said he was directing the inquiry to begin. But again, this kicks off, presumably, a process here that will be very political, that up until now, we have not been presented with any evidence directly that President Biden himself did.
This part is literally true, by the way. The libs over at fucking Clinton News Network are actually correct.
Anything wrong here? But
that's the key part about this.
Yes.
The investigations have been going on through a couple of committees, but what has been, even despite what the speaker said right there has been no direct evidence that Joe Biden himself has personally profited off of his son Hunter Biden's foreign work.
So what are Republicans saying when asked the question, what kind of evidence do you have to impeach Joe Biden? Like, this seems sick. Like, we love it. We're the media. We love the media. Don't we love it, folks? So what kind of evidence do the Republicans have? Here is Representative Scott Perry, Republican from Pennsylvania and a Freedom Caucus chair, addressing some of these concerns from the lying fake news media.
All right, last question. Yes, ma'am.
Can I just ask, what actual evidence do you have as opposed to allegations?
British immediately discarded, opinion discarded.
To show to the American public that would merit an actual impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden and prove that today isn't just about some of you.
Oh, I don't know.
McCarthy for the sake of enacting political revenge.
This isn't about political revenge. We have the bank accounts. We can see, ma'am, you can see that the homes that the Bidens own can't be afforded on a congressional or Senate salary. You also understand that it's not normal for family members to receive millions of dollars from overseas interests. Those things aren't normal. That's not normal to have 20 shell companies. These things are not normal, and it alludes to not only just...
That's not Joe Biden. That's Hunter Biden.
And we also have the president, the vice president at the time, on record saying that the prosecutor was fired. Well, son of a bitch, the prosecutor was fired, right? Because the prosecutor was going after the company that his son was working on.
No, he was doing the opposite. This part of the process is really stupid. And this is not new information. I talked about this literally back when the perfect phone call with Ukraine was the reason why Trump was getting impeached. He's like, dude, the prosecutor was investigating Burisma. That's why they wanted to fire him. So does that mean that, like, the entirety of the international community, the American State Department, the CIA, everyone that was interested in Ukraine in some way, civil society organizations, the IMF, the World Bank, they all were manipulated by Hunter Biden into wanting the American government to apply pressure to Ukraine to fire this prosecutor who was not prosecuting, but instead holding up the prosecution of Burisma. It is the exact opposite of what they are claiming. But before we move away from this, I want to see what John Fetterman has to say about Speaker McCarthy moving forward with the House impeachment inquiry into POTUS.
Ask you about this news that Speaker McCarthy has formally launched an impeachment or has said he's going to.
Oh my God, really? Oh my gosh, it's devastating. Ooh, don't do it. Please don't do it. Oh no.
So we're gonna run back to the office, but
I love that he's just like walking around, this fucking hulking man, and he's walking around in like the absolute nuttiest fit. I love it. I'm on board. I like the John Fetterman stash too. Remember when Republicans were unironically saying that his head was, he had a head transplant or something? Here's how Republicans are handling the Kevin McCarthy situation. The Never Kevers are fucking back.
On this very floor in January, the whole world witnessed a historic contest for House Speaker. I rise today to serve notice. Mr. Speaker, you are out of compliance with the agreement that allowed you to assume this role. The path forward for the House of Representatives is to either bring you into immediate total compliance or remove you pursuant to a motion to vacate the chair.
Yes, let's go. Do it, baby. Do it, pussy. Never Kevers are back. Here is Fox News. Play this diatribe to anyone who wasn't mainline Fox News 12 hours a day for the past couple of years, and I bet they won't have a clue about even a tenth of what Jesse Waters is saying here. Yeah.
So Putin's billionaire buddy wires the Biden family $3.5 billion, and then they sit down for dinner with Joe Biden, and then Biden leaves her off the sanctions list twice. Right there, you could open an impeachment inquiry. Or how about when Joe Biden flies his son to China, he comes back with a bucket of cash, and then gets on the, hey, guys, you better pay up the rest or my dad's going to get revenge on you. And what do you know? Joe Biden starts writing the communist Chinese guy's daughter's recommendations to get into Brown. And then they grease the regulatory process so the Chinese can buy an American car company. Oh, yeah, and then Hunter gets that diamond for about $75,000 that he lost. Because if Malia Obama got a diamond and then President Obama went soft on the country that gave it to him, I'm sure that would not be a big deal at all. And then who else do we have? We have Biden flies his son down to Mexico City. Hunter meets with the president of Mexico and Carlos Slim, comes back with money, and then complains, guys, I've gotten all of your...
It doesn't seem like the left is triggered. It seems like you're triggered. Schizo-alting. Yeah. It's always funny because they keep posting Biden dubs, like Hunter Biden dubs, like nonstop. And this is the funniest fucking Hunter Biden dub. Like they're saying he is the greatest foreign interest lobbyist on the planet. Like no one, Paul Manafort could not even imagine having a crumb of the influence that Hunter Biden has had on the entire Obama administration. Like Hunter Biden was running the fucking show. He was literally the shadow president. I'm sick and tired of acting like that is not the case, okay? Let's keep it $150, chat. Hunter Biden was the shadow president under Barack Obama. Hunter Biden is the reason why a Chinese auto manufacturer opened up a facility in America, which I believe he's talking about the factory, the one that was presented in the Obama documentary. Like Hunter Biden did that. It's awesome. The Biden administration has a literal Trump card to play against the House GOP impeachment inquiry. In 2020, Trump's DOJ issued a binding legal opinion that impeachment inquiries are invalid without an official vote of the House. Oh, no. Is this yet another fucking moment where the Trump campaign or the Trump administration fucked it up? She wrecked them here, too.
Ways, I am thoroughly entertained by Jesse's diatribe, and I learned some new things. But it's strange that members of the Republican Party who serve in Congress don't agree with him. So much so that they're on record saying things like this. David Joyce, Congressman, I'm not seeing the facts or evidence. Dusty Johnson, there's a constitutional and legal test that you have to meet with evidence, and I haven't seen it. Don Bacon, there should be a direct link to the president and some of the evidence. I think we need to have more concrete evidence to go down that path. And then Ken Buck, the time for impeachment is the time when there's evidence linking President Biden. And I don't think that evidence has been presented. Now, these are not people who are Democrats. They're not members of the lamestream media or whatever you want to call it. Those are Republican Congress people. Kevin McCarthy, I guess, has amnesia. He has short-term and long-term. Last Friday, he told Breitbart that there would be no impeachment inquiry without a vote. He also, in 2019, went after Nancy Pelosi, saying if she was going to have an impeachment inquiry without a vote, it would create a process completely devoid of any merit or legitimacy. Well, welcome to the circus, Kevin McCarthy. That's what you've done. Nancy Pelosi did have that vote on October 31st in 2019.
Problem is, Kevin doesn't.
McCarthy has made too many promises to too many lunatics.
Problem is, Kevin doesn't. So how the fuck is he going to do that? And the Never Kevers, who definitely want impeachment inquiries to go forward, still hate Kevin McCarthy more than they want the impeachment inquiries to go forward. So what the fuck are you going to do? This is why I love the Never Kevers and have been a supporter of the Never Kevers, even though they ended up failing.
At once. They can barely do one thing at once. If you look at the border and you look at crime and you look at the economy. So they completely screwed our country when it came to COVID. Where am I? Obviously, all of the evidence on Trump was coming from Adam Schiff, which he wasn't even able to display. And he got away with that. So if the media cries and the Democrats bellow, I say, to quote Barack Obama, you built that. So STFU, I won't tell you what that stands for, Dana, because
It was a phone call. What? Bro, there is a direct phone call between Trump and Ukrainian authorities where he literally is saying, I'm going to stop giving you aid that Congress signed up on unless you give me dirt on the person I'm running up against, potentially, Joe Biden. And Donald Trump was the president when he did that. He was the commander in chief. Like, I don't give a shit about like the implications of like refusing to give aid to Ukraine or whatever, or I don't think it's the most pressing matter at the time. But it's ridiculous to be like, there's no evidence. Like, what do you mean? It was documented.
The fact is, everything that the Democrats accused Trump of, they've done. Corrupt family, Biden. Influence peddling, Biden. Sowing conflict and hate among the American public, Biden. Lying like a Nigerian prince, Biden. So if anybody deserves this, it's him. In prison, I hope he dies. His hair, so he looks better. And I want to just bring us back to the first impeachment where it was about the perfect phone call. Now we know that he was right. That there was something fishy going on with Joe Biden and with the Ukraines, and the Dems was like, oh, my God. And now we know they're right. That he was right all along. He was wrongly accused.
Yeah, we should actually unimpeach him. We should go back in time. The pressure campaign that Joe Biden put on the Ukrainian prosecutor in the Burisma case, in the situation that is related to Burisma, was widely celebrated by everyone that had Western stakes in Ukraine. There was an interest in changing Ukrainian politics, or at least making Ukraine more Western friendly, moving them away from the Russian sphere of influence.
So you now know that after months and months and months and months of being told that all of Europe wanted the Ukrainian prosecutor out, no one can name these people. They'll come up with one or a few.
Wait, what? Yes, they can. The entire prosecution team in the UK that was literally fucking investigating Burisma when the Ukrainian prosecutor was refusing to cooperate with them, which allowed Burisma executives to get away and take out millions of dollars worth of assets without the UK prosecutors actually seizing on their assets. He single-handedly worked to hold that investigation back. It's not just that, though. IMF, World Bank, every civil society organization that had interests in Ukraine, whether you agree with them or not, or whether they were working alongside the CIA or not, does not matter, was calling on Ukraine to fire this prosecutor. They all celebrated that Ukraine fired the prosecutor. There were people in Ukraine that wanted the prosecutor gone, partially because, or I think, and this is me putting my foreign policy hat on for a moment, I think partially they wanted him gone because he was playing the middle of the road game. He was a, institution for many, many years, and he wasn't playing by Western interests as hard as they wanted him to. And he was definitely, certainly corrupt as well. But just like everyone else is fucking corrupt, he just wasn't corrupt in always defending Western interests in Ukraine. CNN's K-File found a February 2016 bipartisan letter signed by several Republican senators that urged the then Ukrainian president, Petro Poroshenko, to press ahead with urgent reforms to the Prosecutor General's office and the judiciary. Remember, we knew about this back then when the impeachment process was being pushed for. Envoys pushed to oust Ukraine prosecutor before Biden. This is from the Financial Times. The Republican Party wanted this to happen. Trump called the 2016 dismissal of the Ukrainian prosecutor unfair in his July 25th call to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, saying, a lot of people are talking about the way that they shut your very good prosecutor down and you had some very bad people involved. I don't think fucking Zelensky liked the former prosecutor. The 2016 letter sent by members of the Senate Ukraine caucus was signed by Republican Senators Rob Portman, Mark Kirk, and Ron Johnson, as well as Democratic Senators Dick Durbin, Jeanne Shaheen, Chris Murphy, Sherrod Brown, and Richard Blumenthal, and focused on longstanding issues in corruption in Ukraine and urged reforms of the government.